You're listening to REIA Radio, the nationally trusted name in real estate investing. We dig deep to discover investors' why in real estate. If you want to skip all the BS and get in investors' heads, you're in the right spot. Be one of the thousands to check out REIARadio.com.
This episode is brought to you by Magic Door.
Magic Door is the AI-powered property management platform designed to handle everything from the rent cycle to the vacancy and maintenance cycles. During the rent cycle, Magic Door collects rent, sends automatic reminders, deducts management fees, and distributes payments to owners. In the vacancy cycle, Magic Door streamlines listings, tenant applications, seamless multi-language communication, screening tenants, and converting applications into leases with one click. And for the maintenance cycle, Magic Door's AI handles everything, asking tenants key questions, assigning tasks to vendors, and scheduling repairs automatically without you getting involved. With no hidden fees, no onboarding costs, and seamless AI-powered automation, Magic Door takes care of the entire property management lifecycle so you can focus on what matters most.
Welcome to REIA Radio, episode 169, the real estate rundown with Owen Dashner.
Admit it, you forgot what the name of it was again, didn't you?
No,
didn't you? I see it in your face.
I got my nose right
You
there.
forgot.
I just was second.
But you wanted to say Momentum Monday.
Yes, I do. Always want to say that. It's stuck in my head as like what it's supposed to be called.
You started out super enthusiastic with the
Real
beginning,
estate rundown,
and then you went.
It's not the
like
momentum.
little tentative after that.
Momentum Monday just flows off my
No,
tongue
it does
so
not.
well.
It's so bad.
Real estate rundown. It's a real estate rundown.
Yes.
And I said real estate rundown, and nobody would have thought twice about it unless you had a pipe up.
All right, bro.
Okay,
What's
bro.
your rundown for the week? I've heard you ranting for a little bit. We hit pause on it because I want you to deliver the raw Ted experience of his irritation from the beginning of the week.
Here is my irritation of the week. Okay, so
what really grinds Ted's gears?
So in my Airbnbs, I use the Nest Yale systems. Okay. Now, the Nest Yale systems do not have keys. So when your tenants don't tell you that the batteries are dying for 2 weeks, and
what do they do, by the way? Like
when the batteries are dying,
is there also a Nest Harvard or Brown or all the Ivy Leagues in there?
Yes, but but when the battery is dying, it literally says, "Change your batteries soon. Your batteries are dying." Every time you touch the damn keypad. But do you think anybody would change the batteries or let you know? No. So when the batteries die, guess what? You can't get in because there's no key. You could literally have to break a window out.
Or call a locksmith.
No, the locksmiths can't open it. There's no keys.
Huh.
You're no way around it.
What do you mean? Okay, so there's a key slot.
There's not.
What?
It's just a screen, nothing else.
Okay, so it's a digital interface, and you have to type in a code to get in.
Yes.
Why do you like these?
The app is really good, and the product has been good. But if your tenants don't tell you that the battery's dying for the 2-week warning they get, then you're SOL. And so I've started changing out my locks to the Schlage system. And the reason I picked this system is through Airbnb, it will auto-change the codes for you.
Wait a minute. Who changes them?
The Airbnb automatically does it for you. So your new tenant comes in, it changes the dates, and then actually puts the last 4 digits of their phone number in automatically for you. So I've been going to these new Schlage systems, which I just got a notification on my watch because of a check-in, which is pretty cool. And I love the system. So I went and bought like 5 or 6 of these locks now. So I have them on my main Airbnb. And now I'm starting to switch them on my apartment building, right? So
long pause, long sigh. Ted had here. 2
of the 4 I bought don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like the electronics don't work. So I swapped them, tried to make them work. And the real pain in my butt is that these have keys in them, which is good for me because I'll put a lockbox on the property in case there's a systemic failure, right? So I make a key for each unit, and then I master key everything, right?
Didn't you just say there were no keys?
With the new system with this Schlage, it has keys. That's why I switched to it.
Okay.
And so I bought these new systems. I put new keys in, but now I have these failures. So I went back to Menards this morning before we started the podcast. I'm like, hey, I need to return my $600 in locks that I purchased, which is 2 of them. And I go, trust me, I don't want to be returning these because I put them on my master key system. And the lady's like, oh my God, you rekeyed these. I need to bring a manager up here immediately for this because you rekeyed them. I'm not going to lose my job because we took these locks in. I go, you can't tell they've been rekeyed, you dipshit. So I'm sitting
Did you
there.
say that to her?
I was so mad, and I did not say dipshit, but it was in my mind, right? And so the manager comes up and he's like, okay, so I heard you rekeyed these. That means you altered the product. And so I'm not sure if we can take this back. You know what? I'm like, I grab my receipts, I grab my bag, and everything's within the 30-day time period. I put them in there and I looked at them. I'm like, I was just telling you the story of why this isn't my benefit to return it because I spent the $40 per lock or whatever to put it in the master key system. And I was looking for some sympathy, but now you're trying to screw me on my $600 and tell me I can't return them for a product that doesn't work. And by the way, I did call customer service on Schlage. And it became a joke because the first time I called, I literally left it on until the point where my phone died after 2 hours of sitting on hold. And like ate dinner and everything and just sat on hold listening to music. My phone died because I was on it so long. Called again, and after an hour, I just hung up. I'm like, obviously they don't have a customer service.
Yeah.
And I tried to not go this route of returning it because I rekeyed the damn locks. And so I grabbed all the shit off the counter and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go do my podcast. And then I'm going to go try a different store where I don't tell the truth and then get my refund.
Did you throw in the podcast thing just to get new followers? Were you like hashtag REIA Radio?
No, I was yes, that's exactly what
okay.
I'm like, come on. Like sympathize with me. Nothing has changed. All you're going to do is melt the damn shit down or throw it in the trash can anyway once you get your credit. They're not going to do anything with this. They're not going to reuse it. Don't use it against me that I spent some extra money on here as an investor doing what I'm supposed to do with my product.
What? All right. I get you're venting and you just threw your pen down. I love it. He's so angry. Ted's so angry right now. Did you maybe do that out of order? Should you have tested it first?
Well, I'm going to
change the lock.
I'm going to go install it into the apartment building and leave the unit open. And then go to the locksmith and get it keyed.
Yeah, I mean, no. I get it. Like,
if I'm spending $300 on a damn lock, it better flip and work so I can go install it.
Yeah. I don't know. I have
what order am I missing?
Well,
here?
I don't know because I've never spent $300 on a freaking lock.
It's
like
stupid.
Okay, so here you heard it here first. Just buyer beware. You buy a $300 lock, don't expect sympathy.
And just if you get the Encode Plus, you can have up to 100 codes on there simultaneously. Plus, your app is really, really good with this product.
I don't think you can salvage a sponsorship from Schlage.
I'm gonna keep on using them because
I don't think Schlage is gonna jump on here and say, "Hey, I love what you guys said here. I want to give you here's some sponsorship money."
Okay, Tommy John boxers.
Okay.
By the way, your boxers are great, but they don't last long at all. They just split in the middle.
Oh,
have you noticed that from the gifts I've given you?
I wish you would quit giving them me.
The crotch just shot out, but it's the best pair of underwear I've ever worn.
I don't
but
know
they don't last long.
Why are we talking about?
Because I got them for Christmas. Or your birthday. Well, I got a pair from Dentless too.
Moving on.
But did the crotches shoot out?
No, dude.
Do they or not?
Aiden, help.
They don't last long, do they?
Aiden,
why are we talking
help
about
me.
underwear?
Because
I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing?
This is Monday, and we just talk.
Let's
get real. Sometimes
I don't want to talk about
the best
underwear.
products don't last.
Okay, fair.
Yes.
Let's bring up something else other than underwear, which people right now are wondering why you're buying me underwear.
Because we got matching underwear.
Why?
Because
this is you. This is all you. I have no part in any of this.
Okay, so
why are you buying underwear for men?
Okay, so if you guys listened to the very first podcast where we did on Christmas,
here's the back pedal.
I bought matching underwear for Denless, you and I, and it was a gag gift, and it was funny, and I just continued it.
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
Did it sell you?
They're
okay. Amazing. They're amazing.
Can we freaking move on? Good Lord. Let go. Ted, you're going to feel a lot better. Let go.
I'm trying to. And I'm going to report back. If they don't take those damn things back, I will report back.
We want to know.
And they will
Everyone is hanging in the balance.
Yes. Okay, so that's definitely my rant for the week. Do you have a rant that you want to go over? Since you're giving me so much hard time?
It's not really a rant, but it made me start thinking about something. Let's talk about today's
Golden Nugget. And this Golden Nugget is brought to you by JM Real Estate Capital.
Hi, it's Rob, JM Real Estate Capital. We're the money guys that you need to know for all your real estate investments. Talk to us. We can do what your local bank can't or won't do. We don't have millions, we have trillions with a T to lend. 844-week close or go online at jmrecapital.com. That's jmrecapital.com. JM Real Estate Capital, smart solutions for the real estate investor.
So today's Golden Nugget, starting a real estate investing business, wholesaling, flips, whatever it is, I think should take about 2 years for you to educate yourself. And that's going to involve a lot more than watching some YouTube videos.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because I got a call yesterday. This reminded me of this, but I look at real estate investing, and it's put out there as a get rich quick, way to make money, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in actuality, if you want to make it a perpetual business, like if you want to make it an actual legit business, you have to look at it like an actual legit business, and you have to put a plan together.
It's a business.
Well, that's where that's where I look at this. People are they start out in this and they have no idea why they failed, and it's like, do you have a plan? Did you educate yourself on all the things involved?
I think that comes with like your time in owning businesses and running businesses. Like in my 20s, I had several businesses with partners, and I learned so much out of it. And sometimes you just jump in, but as you learn it, you're like, okay, well, I really need to set myself up, so I can avoid failure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lot of people have an idea of, I want to flip a house or I want to flip a couple houses, and they want to dabble, but they don't want to make a legit deal out of it. And then there's those that really want to make it a lifestyle business where they are making it, this is who I am and what I'm doing, rather than like I'm experimenting. That's where I'm going with this, is like, you have to look at this like you're opening a new brick and mortar location to a smaller extent, and do your research, like understand your state laws, understand what financing is about, understand what licenses you need to have, what advertising looks like, how much it's going to cost you, like how are you going to acquire deals. They're not just going to magically fall in your lap. And that's what makes me laugh a lot of times, is people are like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to flip a house. It's like, how are you going to find that house? Like, is it on the MLS? Because I've seen it. You think you're going to outbid me or like 20,000 other people that are looking at the exact same MLS? What is your plan?
I have conversations with all the time with people calling me like, hey, I want to flip house. I'm like, and I know you hate this word, but I'm like, you need to establish a very, clear, concise buy box.
Yeah.
And, and I know you hate that word, that phrase, but it's true. Like I say this word for word, create a buy box for me that if I find that exact property, you can't
say no.
Because if you tell me no, and I tell them this too, if you tell me no, I'm going to stop working with you.
Yeah.
And I actually got that advice from the very first Sarah Weaver podcast that we did. Like nice. Episode 49 or something it was. Yeah. So, yeah. Do you have a real world example of what you're talking about right now?
Yeah. A matter of fact, I got a phone call yesterday from a guy that's a new wholesaler. So my phone rings, and here's my new thing. Like, I just say I'm on a ladder. Like, you just answer your phone. I'm on a ladder.
Even at night?
Yeah. Like, that's the best way to get somebody off the phone. Like, if somebody's calling you, you're like, I'm on a ladder, click. Think about it. Why would
you even answer? Why would just like a voicemail?
Maybe your phone's annoying you and you don't want it to ring anymore, so you just answer like, I'm on a ladder, I'll call you back, whatever. I'm on a ladder, I don't want to talk to you.
I'm on a podcast.
There you go.
That's actually in my 3 suggestions. I'm in a podcast, can't talk, leave me a voicemail.
There you go. So I'm on a ladder is one that nobody can argue with, right? So
same with podcasts.
They're not going to expect you to talk while you're otherwise engaged in a life-threatening activity like a podcast or being on a ladder. So anyway, I get this call, and it's a number I don't recognize. I can't talk, so I delete, or I reject it. And then they call again like 15 minutes later, still not a good time. But like in my business where I occasionally buy flip houses off market, like we'll get random calls from people and I have to take them. And I'm like, I answer and here's how the conversation went. Yeah. Hi. Is this Owen Dashner with Red Ladder Properties? They're reading Solutions.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And I'm like, that depends. Are you a bill collector or do you have a house that you want to sell? That's exactly what I say. Right. I do it like I'm joking, right? They can tell I'm joking.
Can you throw a little fun in? I'm like, hey, did you find my genealogy?
Like genealogy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Genealogy. So I say this, right, and they like kind of laugh a little bit, but they're so focused on what I'm saying that they miss the fact that I'm making a joke out of it, and they continue right on into their script.
Yeah,
and I can tell, like immediately, it's a new wholesaler.
It's not Ancestry.
What?
It's not Ancestry.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a new wholesaler, and they're asking me, hey, I know, like they're giving me their whole spiel. Like, are you a cash buyer in this market or whatever? And like, sometimes I just like to talk to people and maybe a little bit mess with them, but also like help them. Right? That's kind of like
you're gonna fuck them up, and then you're also gonna be nice to them. I'm gonna mess.
I can't believe you just said
I'm gonna mess in your head a little bit, but I'm also gonna help you.
That is exactly what that. Actually, that's perfect. That's a perfect explanation. I'm going to.
And then depending on how you come out of this, I might do coffee with you.
You know what? You might as well tell this. This is pretty funny, actually. So I was talking to this guy last night, and he's like completely going off of a script. Yeah, I'm a wholesaler in the area, and I get these, houses under contract, and I have some great deals, and blah blah blah. And he's just like reading. I know all of this, right? I've heard this 10,000 times.
You were that guy once.
Yes. No, I never was that guy. I never wholesaled, but I know the script because I've been on the receiving end of those phone calls. So I wait till he's done, right? I'm giving him the respect of, his spiel. He had to work up the balls to call me. So I'm gonna let him say his thing, and I'm gonna come back. And so,
do you ever ask them how they got your number?
Generally, yes, I did actually. And generally it's because we market. So we do online, we have pay-per-click and SEO. So if you Google sell my house fast in Omaha or we buy houses Omaha,
you can get Owen's direct contact number.
Yes. And so that's going to come up. So we're going to
hit him up about picking his brain.
We're going to pop up as somebody, right? So he clicked on that, found my cell phone number and didn't know my name when he called. Like, he made a lot of rookie mistakes. And then I started talking to him and I started asking him a couple of questions. And then after I was like 30 seconds into the conversation, he immediately dropped all pretense and just said, look, man, I'm just getting started. Like, I've been watching a bunch of YouTube videos. I learned, I learned that you're supposed to build your cash buyers list. That's what I'm trying to do. So I start asking him questions, and I'm like, okay, who do you follow? Like, what are you watching? Or like, how are you getting this information that to call cash buyers, or that you think that's a good idea? And he starts, talking. He's like, well, I follow this guy, and I don't remember. I'd never heard of like 2 or 3 of them that he mentioned. I'm like, listen, I've been doing this a long time, and here's kind of my deal. I said, but where do you find out, like, okay, so you listen to some YouTubers. I'm like, have you closed any deals yet? And he's like, no, I'm just getting started. And I said, okay, have you underwritten any deals? Do you live in Omaha? And that's the first thing I generally ask people, is like, because you'll get people who are like, oh yeah, I have properties and I source deals all the time and I'm in your local area and this and that. And they're usually vague, and normally they're not in Omaha or wherever you happen to be located, right, as an end buyer. And he actually he was from here. And I said, okay, where's Exarban? And he's like, oh, it's Midtown, 60th and whatever. And I was like, okay, you passed that test. And so he knows Omaha. He's from here.
Owen test.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? I mean, that's a great test, though.
What does exorbitant really mean? Backwards.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's Nebraska backwards. For those of you that don't know, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I start grilling him about have you done that? And all I asked was, I go, okay, so I assume you've listened to like all the Bigger Pockets podcasts and
REIA Radio.
Yeah, and I said, and probably the best podcast out there is REIA Radio. I'm sure you've heard that. And it was like long, awkward silence.
What do you do?
But I don't care. It's not awkward for me. It's awkward for him because I'm just like, whatever.
Did you say you probably should listen to that podcast? It's got really good content.
Yeah, there's like anyway. No, I know you're kidding. No, I totally messed with him, but I did it in a funny way, and like I wasn't a dick about it
because I say that to random people.
Yeah,
that have no idea the podcast.
You've never heard of that?
That's
never heard of REIA?
That's the best content you could ever get, man.
Oh my gosh, get out! Anyway, no. So I kind of tell him the deal, and I'm like, listen. Like, he had never even heard of Bigger Pockets. And I'm like, okay, well, clearly he is literally just scratching the surface of what job can I do to make money in real estate, right? And he found a couple of randos on YouTube, started following them. They're like, oh, it's easy. Build your buyer's list. And then all you got to do is find a property. And he was talking about, like, he had no idea that wholesaling was illegal, like unlicensed wholesaling in Nebraska, Iowa, like a lot of states. He's like, well, I thought that was legal in all 50 states. That's what he told me. And I was like, no, matter of fact. And I listed off, Iowa, Nebraska, and then like, what else is it? Like there's Ohio, there's Oklahoma, there's a bunch of states that have outlawed it.
It's growing really quick.
Yeah. And I said, there's a lot of legislation that's pent up demand for other states. So I go, you got to be really careful about this, man. I go, you can't. And I said, by the way, have you been on and I go, I know this is old school, but have you been on Facebook and search for different groups that are related to real estate investing in Omaha? And he's like, no. And I go, okay, well, like do that. Search for Omaha REIA, search for Omaha Real Estate Meetup. Those are the two biggest ones in Nebraska. I'm like, you got to get on there and you got to get visible and you got to like get involved. And this is a long golden nugget. But where I'm going with this is, so you look at somebody looking to start a wholesaling business like this guy was. And he said he heard some guru on YouTube that said, you should build your buyer's list. Find out who your cash buyers are. I don't know who doled out that advice originally, that was the first step you need to take. But if you don't have a product to sell, don't call buyers. That's my take. Because if you called me and you said, I'm a wholesaler, I have a great deal in your area, and I'm like, what's the deal? And they were like, oh, well, I just got it under contract. I would immediately write you off. And I'd be like, you're full of shit. I don't believe anything you're going to tell me. So where I'm going with this is you have to plan this like it is a legit business, because it is. Mm-hmm. And legit businesses, you don't just go out and listen to a couple of YouTube videos and then all of a sudden decide to start a supermarket or a nail salon or like an auto mechanic shop. Like, these are legit businesses, brick and mortar, right? You can't think that you're going to go out and make tens and millions of dollars just by slanging real estate. It doesn't work like that. You need to have systems, processes, good foundational understanding of real estate. And I would tell anybody listening to this, plan on about 2 years of just learning before you can actually take the leap and make a legitimate business out of this thing and understand what you need to know to make it successful. You could have a one-off deal here and there, and you can make, maybe you make 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever it is. There's a ton of risk involved. What do you think about this?
Well, I can tell you what I did on my side of the business. So at one point, I brought this up in several podcasts in the past, but for a period of time, I created a buyer's list. At one point, my buyer's list had over 300 investors on it, but I broke that buyer's list down, and I'm sure there's systems that can do this better now. But at the time, I was just using spreadsheets. Mm-hmm. And I would say, okay, so here's my buyer's list. And then I had a column for how many properties they bought from me. And then I had the next column of what they're looking for. Like, ideally, how many beds, how many baths, what part of town they're looking for, you know, what level of distress can they handle? What price point are they trying to get? And I got as much detail down in my spreadsheet as possible. But I always try to feed my local investors first because it's just a lot easier transactional wise. But the priority always went to the people that bought from me. And so I would get a lead in from a wholesaler, which a wholesaler should have this list anyway, to be honest with you. I was a good opportunity for the wholesalers that didn't have the buyer list. So somebody could come in and automatically have 300 buyers immediately. So that's why I had first opportunity to a lot of my leads for, up to a week. Like, hey, you got 3 to 7 days exclusive on this listing. Try to bring me a buyer. So before it became illegal, I would make, in my opinion, I was making those transactions legal. I was writing a purchase contract with a wholesaler. I was writing a purchase contract with my buyer. My buyer was paying my commission, and I was providing some legal avenue in the middle of this gray area that had no rules at the time, and it was wild, wild west, right? But if you're a wholesaler, and I guess the best advice I give to you, the reason I went through that whole thing is because what I was doing, you should be doing. And I built that list by attending every single real estate meetup that I could go to. So, before I owned my own REIA in town, I was a member of that REIA for 5 years. And then every single other meetup that was out there, MAPOA or whatnot, I was a member, or if I saw something up and coming and there's people I want to be around, I wanted to volunteer and be part of it. So Colin Schwartz's name has been thrown around quite a bit. So he started meetup. So I guess the first thing I did is like, hey man, I will do live stream all of your events for no charge. And then Colin knew me, but that created a relationship with that person that has, stood the test of time. And now I could say we're, really close friends.
Yep.
Because I volunteered to help his stuff out.
Yep.
So whatever city you're in, find the meetup, volunteer. And Dennis is a great example. As he volunteered and helped us out, and now I can't afford my bills with him. So, yeah, that's a joke. But you guys get to see the point there. You got to establish those relationships. You never know where it's going to go. Those are lifelong relationships. By you putting yourself out, giving something to get something back in the future.
I really like that, and I know we've covered this in the past, obviously, but this is a great refresher because, like I said, I got this call yesterday, and this guy had never heard of Bigger Pockets. He wasn't a member of any of the meetups. He had never closed a deal, and yet he's calling me, like I would say, one of the more active people in Omaha as far as real estate investing goes, and being out there. Is that fair to say? I don't know. I never said I was the best, but I'm definitely active.
You have a podcast.
I have a podcast. So I was like, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? And then he's like, no. What's that? Like, he's asking me all these questions. And I was like, he was all hung up on the contracts, right? He's like, I just don't know, how do I do this part of it? And he was really getting into the weeds on the contracts. I'm like, listen, man, you're getting hung up on the details of this. I said, you need to start making relationships and building the long game here. And I know that's hard because you want to make cash. I said, but you also, we started talking about meeting with, sellers that are motivated. He was wanting to like sling deals that were on the MLS.
How long does this talk?
Probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, so I call an agent and they're blah, blah, blah. They don't understand wholesaling. Like, how can I make I go, first of all, don't offer on stuff that's on the MLS, dude. And he had no idea why. Like, that wasn't, I don't know how it works in other markets, but like if somebody sends me a deal that's already on the MLS and they have it under contract and they're trying to sell it to me for that or more, and I'm like, okay. Why am I paying you? Like, I could do this myself. Literally, you offer zero value.
We'll ask Pace Morby next time we have him on.
Yeah. So anyway, I had a really educational opportunity with this person.
This would have been a great podcast to bring somebody in that is like full of questions.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of, dude? It reminded me of the Tom Kroll episode that we had probably like 5 or 6 of them ago.
Yeah.
When he was on his brother's podcast.
Yeah, that one you heard.
Where he's asking these questions that anybody that's been in this business a while is just like, are you kidding me? Like, you're literally in this business and you don't know what that is. But where I'm going with that part is
hit
like,
this guy up and get him on the podcast. Let's have a let's
have
a really raw conversation.
But anyway, I was like, have you heard of this and this and this? And it was just fun. So I think after I hang it up, so when I'm done, Okay. So when I
when
sell,
you retire,
when I sell all my stuff,
will you sell it?
I'm out of the game.
When you're out of the game, will you just sell everything, or will you just let it cash flow and have a manager just run it and just take the money in?
Well, yeah, if only it were that easy.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, like it's never like.
Would
that.
you just sell off though? Everything?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If I had an opportunity to put it into something else that could kick off income.
Can I know this isn't where you're going, but can I ask what point in your life do you think that is?
Like what age?
Or is it an age? Is it a number? Or like what?
No,
is
it's a feeling.
Okay. I don't think you're anywhere near that feeling.
Depends on what day of the week you catch me.
I get it, man, because I'm transitioning my whole real estate life right now.
I'm getting to the point where I no longer have to be the owner operator, the guy that's turning all the dials and making all the stuff happen. Like I'm
more LP type stuff.
Yeah, I'm more interested now in looking at good operators that know what they're doing, that I can invest in them. They know their shit and they know how to run a business, and I don't have to be in there turning everything and making it all work, because I'm not. You get burned out after a while. Like, we talked about this last week.
I don't want to take another condemned property. Really don't want to do a flip.
Yeah, you jumped into the heaviest lift area. You're like, I'm just kind of new to working out, but I'm going to go over here and get on the hack squat machine and throw on 4 plates.
But I felt comfortable with it, to be honest with you. Like I had an understanding of what I was getting into, and more than anything else in some ways. But I'm at this point right now, I don't want to take on another Airbnb. I don't want another midterm. I don't want another short term. I don't want another major lift. Like, I want to just sell everything I have. Honestly, I'm ready for the next new challenge. And I think the next new challenge for me is getting storage units in small towns, and for affordable rates, automating it and being more hands off. I think that's the next step for me. I think I'm very positive that will be the next big thing I do once I sell off some of my portfolio and finish the projects that I'm trying to finish right now.
I have a local guy, Council Bluffs guy named Henry Clark. I've talked about him before. The storage unit, he's really.
Can we get him in real soon?
I would love to. I'll hit him up again. I'll see if we can get him on, because he's an expert in that. And I've sat with him and gone through all of his his investments, and it's pretty cool. But I just think it's fascinating, the disconnect between wanting to really get started, being motivated, and then not having all the knowledge but doing it anyway, and then
learning.
Yeah, you're learning. I mean, I'm not faulting the guy at all for picking up the phone and calling me. In fact, kudos to him for doing it, because he probably learned more on me. Like, I wasn't condescending at all. I know that you.
I hope you share this episode with him.
I think you're going to find that hard to believe, but I was not condescending at all. I was just like, listen, you need to join these two groups.
You are a natural helper. Like, that's why you do this. Like, I totally see your point. Like, you wanted to help the kid out. Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. On this.
He's going through unnecessary pain right now and struggles. So eventually, when I get out of the game, whether I'm involved as a passive participant or whatever, but I think I'm going to do more teaching or some flavor of that, mentoring or whatever. But that's going to be my
totally it's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
I'm actually shocked.
I love that.
I'm shocked you're not there already.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by PropStream.
PropStream is one of the most trusted real estate data software solutions. PropStream benefits all real estate professionals. You can find properties and contact homeowners on the go with PropStream's mobile app. We offer free academy courses tailored to real estate investors and agents. Take advantage of our live webinar demos to learn the software and scale your real estate business. Visit www.propstream.com and sign up for your 7-day free trial to get more leads and grow your business.
Oh, and I had to tell you, man, your golden nuggets are the best. And this is why you are the king of the nugget.
I am the king of the nugget. I can retire on that. No, thank you. The funny thing is, like, some of these, this may get lost in translation when people are listening to this, these episodes, but some of these I spend a ton of time on. Like, I research and I'm like, I want to give the best, advice that I can.
You do a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But other times I'm kind of like panicky because I'll be, and today, actually I thought of this yesterday, the one we did, on this episode, but I was at the gym this morning, and there's been multiple times where I've been at the gym and I'm like, I have to get this workout in. I have to shower. I'm going to be at the podcast studio at like 9:15. I have prep work to do. Like, I'm kind of like, an all business. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I don't have Golden Nugget. Oh, I forgot. Like, I just spaced it off. And then I'll research some stuff. Then I'll come up with something. So some of these are last minute. Some of these are well thought out. And I don't know what the difference is.
I don't know if I've ever disclosed this to you, but when I concepted the idea of the Golden Nugget in the podcast, my mentality originally was that when we did an interview, that we would take a Golden Nugget out of the podcast of something we learned, and then which we've done a handful of times. But you've taken on this. That's like your coat of armor. That's your pride to come up with something special. And it's as everything's morphed in this podcast for the last 4 years.
The funny thing is, like, we've been doing this so long now that I thought I came up with the idea of the Golden Nugget. Like, hey, trademark. I just trademarked it. Golden Nugget TM.
You did it because
Owen Money Real Estate.
Because Golden Nugget was the original name I was going to name the podcast. Golden Nugget Real Estate.
You know what? I like what we have going on better.
Yeah, we do.
Real Estate Rundown, REIA Radio.
Yep. We got it figured out. This episode is brought to you by Timber Creek Virtual.
At Timber Creek Virtual, we don't just keep your business running. We take it to the next level. Our virtual and executive assistants handle all the everyday tasks so you can focus on what really matters, growing your business. Need clarity on your financial performance? Our expert bookkeeping services keep everything organized, so you always know where your business stands. With our seamless transaction coordination, you never have to worry about the details. Just close the deal. We've got you covered with cutting-edge digital marketing, proactive lead generation, and expert acquisition management. Plus, we handle the cold calling and messaging too. Let us handle the big C part so you can handle your business. Visit timbercreekvirtual.com/services and see how we can make your business soar.
I appreciate every moment that I get to hanging out in the studio with you guys, and appreciate the fact that you guys listen to us and you enjoy what we put out there. And again, the best thing you can do for us is give us a review on your favorite platform and share us with somebody that you think would love what we put out there. But speaking of, I do have a written review that I'd like to share. And this is from Spicy Marshmallow.
That appeals to me in so many ways.
I'm just gonna leave that there.
I like marshmallows and I like spicy food. So I feel like I need to get to know this person.
So Spicy Marshmallow, please reach out to us. We would love to know who you are. And they gave us a 5-star review. And they said, hooked on REIA Radio. As a new listener, I am already hooked on REIA Radio with Ted. And I love how I always put Ted first, by the way. And then they offer
It's alphabetical. Don't get excited.
They offer a perfect blend of practical insights and engaging conversations on everything real estate. Their knowledge and combined with natural flow between topics make complex concepts feel approachable, even if you're new to the space. Whether it's discussing market trends, creative financing, or sharing stories from seasoned investors, Ted and Owen cover it all with down-to-earth approach that's both informative and enjoyable. Highly recommend anyone interested in real estate. And just so you know, you are one of 123 5-star reviews you've given us in that 1 4-star.
Boom. Wake up.
So thank you guys for doing that. We've been getting lots of reviews. Please keep them coming. We'd love to read those out there because it means you're the only reason we do this. If you guys didn't listen, if you guys didn't write reviews, we'd actually have quit by now.
Well, thanks for that awesome review. So here's the deal, guys. If you could like, follow, and subscribe to our podcast, that helps us a ton. Our advertisers are our lifeblood. And by the way, we limp along with this podcast to put it out there for the world. So we hope you guys love it, but it really helps us kind of like survive the brutal world of podcast and, brutal podcast production here. If you can help us out with the like, follow, and subscribe. And if you're interested in advertising to an awesome group of real estate investors, hard money lenders, contractors, you name it. Our audience is wide and varied. If you have an interest in that, we'd love to hear from you and see how we can work together. So with that, Ted, will you see us out?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you like that?
On behalf of Owen Dashner, Aiden Bear, my name is Ted Kaasch, and we're coming live from the Realty One Studios in Omaha, Nebraska. And please give Owen a like on his Instagram, Owen Money Real Estate. It means the world to him.
Or ODog2424.
Sign off.
Like my dog walking.
Sign off.
Signing off.